Hi, sweeties. How are you doing? Welcome to Samnaya. Thank you so much for the support. Hope you are great. I saw a video of a Korean lady who was talking about how some of them are very boastful and how some of them are not ready to do the right, like, come out to speak up for other people and all that, that they've benefited from America, and some of them, they vote in United States, not even in their country. So why are they refusing to speak up? And also, why is it that when Black people speak up on things concerning them, they will tell them not to talk about it? How many times did Black people call them to tell them not to talk about their history or talk about what happened to them and all that? She really made a great point on that. And you all know that I have been saying, majority of them saying that our grandparents did it the right way, our parents did it the right way, and some of them were able to come here because they were handpicked and brought to United States. And some of them are able to migrate because, come because Black people helped with the Civil Act, right? These people actually, they have really benefited a lot from Black people, but I do not see them give back to people that helped them. Well, you all already know how it is. You wake up every day to so many things about Asians, but that is by the way, because I feel like they are not going to change. This is just who they are. Sneaky kind of people, and that is kind of disgusting. Let's get into this video.
Riddle me this. Korean American immigrants love complaining about the Japanese occupation of Korea, which ended in 1945. To this day, there are Korean Americans who refuse to buy Japanese cars, buy Japanese goods, eat Japanese foods, watch anime, read manga, partake in Japanese culture. They are angry that Japan's tourism industry has completely overshadowed their war atrocities. But when Black people want to talk about the effects of slavery, which lasted over 246 years, you say that they're overreacting or they're holding on to the past. When even after slavery ended, schools were segregated, neighborhoods were redlined and divided into ghettos, and a single white woman's complaint led to incidents like Emmett Till or the Tulsa massacres, where over 300 people were killed and an entire neighborhood was burned to the ground. Or how not even 5 years ago, George Floyd was killed by a police officer kneeling on his neck for over 10 minutes. Not to mention the countless other lives that were lost to police brutality in that year alone. But no, when Black people complain, you think they're too loud, they're doing too much, they're lazy, they want handouts. But you want to talk about Japan? And now that the Hispanic community is at risk, what do? Well, you can't call them lazy, because your favorite Korean restaurant, the line cooks in the back are Latino immigrants. The waiter who comes to fill up your water without saying a word. That tailor shop you go to for a last minute fix at a good price because they're the only ones available that late. And what about the man who cuts your lawn every Saturday? They are in every crevice of your community. Not only are Hispanic immigrants one of the most hardworking groups, they are also one of the most unnoticed. So what excuse will you come up with this time? Are they lazy? Are they asking for handouts? Are they doing too much? If you have the privilege to immigrate here to America so that you can complain every single day about Japan when you no longer live in Korea and you can't vote in Korean politics, why don't we redirect our attention to current atrocities in the country that you live in and can vote in? And if you currently can't vote because you're an immigrant, do I even need to explain to you why you should care all the more? They're not going after Asian people now. But remember COVID? Suddenly the Asian community was louder than ever before. Stop Asian hate, stop Asian hate. Never have I ever seen the Asian community come together, rally, and protest the way that they did for Stop Asian Hate. Because I haven't seen that type of energy for any other cause or for any other group. Because I guess if it's not your businesses and your family and your neighbors and you at risk, then you just don't care. COVID happened like that. It could be tomorrow, or the week after, or the month after. Asians could start getting deported too. Who knows what's going to happen in global news? You're not special. You too are an immigrant or a child of an immigrant. So next time you look at the news, instead of thinking, oh my gosh, they're deporting Hispanic people, they are deporting immigrants without due process. That is the headliner. Immigrants deported without due process. So if we put all the pieces together, what did we learn today? If you're one of the people who holds on to historical atrocities and boycotts to this very day, you have no right to criticize other groups for doing the same. And if you are an immigrant or a child of an immigrant, you have every right to care about what is happening right now, even if you don't look like their target. And I sincerely hope, from one Asian to another, that I am able to see more of us be more proactive in times of crisis. Don't just wave the American flag and stick American flag stickers on the back of your car when you are threatened. If you actually care about America, do something for the people who are the literal backbone of the labor in this country.
My grandparents, they did it the right way. They did it legally. This fight isn't my fight because we did it the right way. If you're a young East Asian American person and you fix your mouth to say something like that, then that tells me you really don't know the first thing about your own history. And this whole idea of they did it legally, do you understand that there used to be a time where we couldn't, people like us couldn't do it legally. We were prohibited, we were restricted from even being here. The Chinese Exclusion Act in 1882 made it so that people from China and other parts of Asia were not even allowed to enter this country. They couldn't work here and they couldn't live here. So legally wasn't even an option. And then if you say something like, well, I'm here legally, so I'm safe, I'm protected. Need I remind you that in 1942, 120,000 Japanese and other Asian Americans were scooped up out of their lives from their homes and taken to internment camps. Some as close to Los Angeles as Santa Anita. And these were U.S. citizens, second, third, fourth generation Americans, people who had served in the U.S. military, teachers, doctors, professionals, taken out of their lives, stripped of all of their belongings, put in camps. People in my father's generation, American citizens that look just like us. And because you're a U.S. citizen, you think that these civil rights of yours are protected. Where do you think these civil rights that you enjoy so much, where do you think they came from? How do you think you got them? By the good graces of the U.S. government? No. It was because of Black people and the civil rights movement. Civil rights movement spearheaded by Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. led to the passage of the Civil Rights Act of 1964. The act effectively outlawed discrimination on the basis of race, color, religion, sex, or national origin. The spirit of the civil rights movement, because we basically learned how to protest and fight for our rights from the Black civil rights movement. Because of that, the Civil Rights Act of 1964 helped to lead to the passage of the Immigration and Nationality Act of 1965. And that removed the quota system and opened up immigration to those who were highly skilled, and that's important to remember, I'm going to get back to that in just a second, or had existing familial relationships in the U.S. 10 years after the signing, the Asian immigration population doubled, and to this day has shaped the diversity of our country. But let's get back to this real quick, because this is important. I'm hearing so many young Asian American, East Asians specifically, saying things like, well, you know, my parents came here and they worked hard and they made a life for themselves, and that's why we are so successful in this country, and that's why, you know, we make so much money and we're all so highly educated. And true as that may be, because yes, they do work hard, and I'm not trying to take anything away from that, but it wasn't just hard work alone. In order to be here, our parents and grandparents had to apply. And those applications contained things like their level of education and their skills. So they were hand selected. It wasn't just whoever wanted to come could come. They were hand selected to be here. And guess who they chose? They chose people with skills like doctors or accountants or engineers or people like my father who were architects. So that's really important. Something that you should factor in when you say things like that, because our parents and grandparents, they came here with a leg up. They came here with an advantage. And there are so many immigrants that come here that don't. And not only do they not have an advantage, they are at a complete and total disadvantage. And they're escaping things like human trafficking, like drug cartels, like war, like, you know, poverty. And a lot of them don't have any money. They don't have an education. But you know what they do want? They want the same thing that our parents and our grandparents wanted. And that is a life. That is a life for them and for their children. So go back to that. Go back to that ideal, because that's something you seem to understand. Our parents and grandparents came here because they wanted a better life. Well, so do they. But things like legality and advantages aren't always on their side like it may have been for us. Because we didn't come by it on our own, and they shouldn't have to either. My parents...
I'm going to take one for the team and just say this. If you're an Asian American who's here legally, whose parents worked their butts off to get out of a country and give yourself the American dream legally.
When he says take one for the team, what team is he talking about?
Got you a green card, got you a citizenship, got you into that school.
So we're talking like Columbia student hunted by ICE, Chung Yun-seo, right? Because she was a legal permanent resident and she was hunted by ICE to be deported.
You are here engagement farming for pity points and emotional impact and virtue signaling for anti-ICE or anti-illegal immigrant deportation measures and calling yourself some justice warrior. Shame on you.
So the team he's speaking for is Team Trump, not Team Asian Americans. Because I'm all those things. My parents did it legally. But then they ran out of money and also didn't understand the paperwork with their limited English. So I ended up getting citizenship on my own as an adult. But I know that was my privilege to do so. And having learned English, being able to work higher jobs where I could afford extra money to do the paperwork as an adult for myself. Trump said he was out to get migrant criminals, killers, gang members, people that are taking the jobs. But ICE is raiding non-criminals, family men and women who just put their head down and work, the kind of work that nobody else wants to do. It's like below minimum wage, the kind of work that has them working around the clock, that doesn't allow them any extra hours to go to English classes, because they're providing for their families. But not only that, it's the kind of work that Los Angeles is built on, that everyone living in Los Angeles benefits from. When you see literal toddlers being dragged away from their parents as they're crying out for their mother and father, and you call people that are talking about these issues trying to earn pity points as they criticize a criminal president who shouldn't even be fucking president.
I hope you keep those opinions to yourself because it's embarrassing. That's all it is.
I mean, I wish you had taken your own advice, because to be talking like that as this is happening, that is a depraved form of humanity. What Korean church we going to? Not to mention the legal citizens that are getting swept up, catching strays for Trump's mass deportation agenda. Did they send you a plaque that said our model minority? Is it hanging in your wall? You know what? I'm glad you said it. Better to know who you're following, people. I hope that plaque hits you on the head when they tell you you're not enough to be on their team.
This is all I got from this video. And you all can also hear that it looks like some people also feel like they are way better than the other people. Like to them, they have also worked so hard, or maybe their parents or their family came here legally. So for that reason, if you are illegal, it's time for you to go. They think they are safe. You know, I hope you all understand these people were the ones that said that affirmative action, like, you know, Asians. I have done several videos about them, and one thing I have known about Asian American is that I won't stop saying it. They are corny. They are chameleons. I have never seen people that will never speak up their mind in front of you, but behind you, the order of the day. You know the way some people complain that when they are at work for 1 minute, they are like, you know, they are okay with them. They have conversations. Before you know what it's going on, I mean, you are getting a call from your HR to ask you some questions. That is it. Majority of them ran away from the internet after the election, and I have not seen them to this very moment. That is who they are. See, I am not in support of what is going on, but the way they are coming out to talk about it, it's in kind of boastful. It's in kind of arrogant. It's in kind of proud, right? You see them, we came here legally. My parents paid the money, like everybody can pay the money. And there is also one that came out that said that they don't depend on migrant worker. Like I can't understand what he said and the rest of it, because it is not vital. Your parents, your grandparents did it the right way. It is not your fight. It is not your this. Some of them actually do not understand their history, and that is something that I have learned about Asians. The same way Latinos are now also grounded when it comes to their history. They don't know anything. And some of them do not actually need to come out to speak. They actually need chapstick. These people are very lucky that Black people fought for human rights, literally for everybody. And this is also something that they want Black people to continue to fight. That's why Black people say, no, we ain't doing it. You cannot mess up with democracy and come back for us to fix it. And the fact that these people do not even listen to Black people is another one. You all remember that since 2024, all through 2024, I was talking about how Black people will not fix democracy for anybody. Some Black people that said that stood on ground, that said they will not save democracy for anyone because they've been saving democracy for you people. Some may not remember that. And I still see some of you that said that if we are not saving democracy, come out to look for a way to drag Black people. You all are very unserious. So what can I say to some Asians? I love the way that Korean girl started with her this thing. You all should actually go and sit down and stop being boastful. I will draw the curtain here. Bye for now.